Welcome to this episode of the She Scales podcast, where today we're going to be talking about things that I do in my everyday that keep me dripping in main character energy, baby. Whoop, whoop. If I had £1 for every time I had a comment or message from someone that said, Sarah, your energy is incredible. How do you have so much energy? Girl, I wouldn't even need to be in business. So this episode is going to create some nuggets of gold. And some of these things are going to be so blindingly simple, you would think that they don't have a big impact, but I promise you they do. These small little things that add up in your day-to-day make a massive result on how you feel overall. So when we know that main character energy is the embodiment of how you feel about yourself, your business, your offers, then these small little micro actions that you take every day make a huge impact overall. So true story, I actually made this into a post the other day. Came out with just a few things that I put into the post, and I was like, wait. There are so many more things than just these, and it is criminal to cap it here in just one post, and also for the post to die in like 48 hours. No, not on my watch. So I wanted to bring this to the podcast because I know that this will serve my audience, my people, my community for long after this episode has aired. So there's going to be some things in here that either you do already, but maybe didn't realize quite the effect that they have on your day. Or on the opposite side, things that you've been skipping through and being like, oh, hang on a minute, there's cheat codes here that I've been missing out on. So I'm really excited to share these with you. I've got 10 things here, so I'm going to run through them. And you can see which either apply most to you or that you could integrate today into your day-to-day, or starting as of tomorrow morning, fresh day, that can 100% change your energy, which can then change your results because you will show up differently in your business because of this. So excited to dive in. Let's get into it. Number 1. You're going to be like, Sarah, are you crazy? I work from home. Yes, I am, for a start. But also, number 1, wear clothes that make you feel like a goddamn queen. You know? When you get up and you decide what clothes to put on, and I'm speaking to you as someone that just used to put on slouchy hoodie, didn't take that much, pride in my appearance. I'd be like, oh, it doesn't really matter. I work from home. No one's going to see it. It doesn't matter. It does matter. It does. How you hold yourself, how you walk, how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. If you wear clothes that either don't make you feel like a 10 out of 10, or they're your lazy clothes or your sofa or your chilling clothes. Like, I have weekend clothes and I have weekday clothes, because what I want to wear on a Sunday is not what I'm going to wear on a Monday, because I want to show up with power and intention on a Monday. On Sunday, I want to chill. And so you should absolutely have outfits that make you feel incredible. And it doesn't matter if you're working from home. Put on things that make you feel amazing in yourself, because when you feel amazing and you catch yourself in the mirror, doesn't matter if nobody else is going to see you on that day. You get to see you, and frankly, you are the most important person in your life. So should you not dress to please yourself before anybody else first anyway? Girl! The world needs to hear this episode. Dress for yourself. Dress to please yourself. Dress so that you feel fucking incredible. Does not matter if nobody else gets to see how glorious you look on this day. Oh, somebody needs to hear this today. I might even play this back for myself in the morning. Dress to make yourself feel sexy as hell, incredible as hell. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So yeah, because when you put those clothes on, and then whether it's like you catch yourself as you're walking past to the kitchen, you might even change what you choose to eat on that day because of how you feel about yourself. You know, when you feel lazy and sluggish, so it makes you want to eat in line with how you feel. But when you feel like, if you've done a gym workout in the morning, you're more likely, or this is for me anyway, I'm more likely to eat even better on that day because I've already worked hard. I don't want to undo my hard work by eating shit for the rest of the day. And so it's, in Atomic Habits, where he talks about habit stacking, it's easy to habit stack one thing on top of the next if you've already created that pattern. And so that little thing of putting on clothes that make you feel amazing in the morning could mean that when you do your makeup, you put on, let's say, a winged eyeliner that you wouldn't do normally. Or you put on a red lip that you wouldn't do normally. Or maybe you put your earrings in because you just fancied a little bit of sparkle in your day. And then when you go into the kitchen, you're like, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna make a healthier breakfast because I really want to fuel myself. I don't want to be going for like 11 o'clock snacks. I want to feel good until lunchtime. So you've eaten better on that day. So you feel less likely to snack and eat shit. And then when you get to your desk and you're showing up on your Zoom calls, you catch yourself and you see that red lip and you see the earrings and you're like, oh girl, she looks good today. And it energizes you. So you show it more confidence for your clients. You serve your clients at a better level because you're happy and content with yourself. You see how that little micro action of what clothes you chose to wear in the morning then went on to change your makeup, your breakfast, your energy, your behavior on the Zoom call, what information or what energy you had for your clients. Like, it seeps into everything that you do. Main character energy seeps into everything that you do. Imagine later on in that day that you're either going into creating a new offer, or you've been trying to get behind a higher price point for this new offer, or you're launching your mastermind, or you're collaborating with someone else who's on the other side of the world and you want to make sure that you're in your best energy. If you can do the things in the morning that get yourself into your best energy, you'll be your best you for the rest of the day. How much faster and better and easier could you scale your business if you were in your best energy because of the clothes that you chose to wear in the morning? This is also a sign to you, again, speaking from experience, that if you haven't taken yourself out to get clothes in a long time, girl, you are self-sabotaging yourself, honey. I'm speaking from my truth. When I got back from my travels before I'd started the business, I wasn't expecting to stay in the UK for a long time. Pandemic had other plans. And so I didn't buy clothes because I wasn't intending to stay. So I just wore what I'd been wearing backpacking. So that was tired, worn out clothes, leggings, like nondescript tops, nothing with pattern, not a lot with colour, nothing very exciting. It had all been so worn and tired and just lost all of its shape. And what that meant is that when I was trying to show up in the business and feel like, this powerful CEO and, leader and put my stamp on the place and establish my authority, I was doing it I was almost having to go XXL with my energy because I didn't really feel good about myself because I hadn't spent money on new clothes for a long time. And so that affected the way that I showed up. And so I'm saying this with love. If you haven't taken yourself out to get new clothes, a new outfit, stuff that is either recent or makes you feel good about yourself, as a woman, your shape changes all the time. I know mine does. And so having new clothes and something that compliments me right now 100% changes not just my mood in that moment, but it's such an act of self-love to go and get clothes that make you feel amazing. So take this from me. If you haven't taken yourself out and treated yourself in a little while, girl, put it on the business, call it a necessary CEO expense. But get a client VIP day or something and or a brand shoot. In fact, don't even wait for a brand shoot to get yourself a new wardrobe. Girl, you deserve one now. So, number 1 is wear clothes that make you feel sexy as fuck. Number 2, now I've kind of mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it again. Number 2, I move my body. Whether this is in the morning, whether this is in the evening, I move my body. It is no secret that physical exercise improves not just your mood, but your health overall. Now, I'm someone that I want to be prioritizing my good mood and my good health overall because it's an essential. The longevity and success of my business depends on my good mood as much as possible. You're not always going to be in a good mood, but as consistently good as possible. And it relies on my health, because if I don't have my health, my business would close. So if I need to prioritize those two in order to have a sustainable and longevity within the business, then moving my body is a non-negotiable. Plus, there's also the added bonuses of like the endorphin kick that you get from movement. Now, whether you do dance, whether you do rounders, whether you do running, whether you do gym, whether you do CrossFit, whatever it is that is your preferred choice of movement, find the thing that feels good to you. Even if you have to try a few different things, find the thing that makes you feel amazing. I know for me, that's CrossFit, running, and pole dancing. I love those things. They each serve me in different ways. CrossFit speaks to I need to get rid of a lot of energy. I have a lot of energy to use, and that allows me to just exert so much, as well as emotions as well. Like I can just handle so much more. And CrossFit being a very high energy sport allows me just to get away all of, like a glass of Guinness that's got that thick head at the top. CrossFit allows me to clear all of that. Strange analogy, but there we go. You know what I mean? Whereas pole is part the energy side, yes, but pole gives me a level of confidence that is so deep within myself, and like deep self-love, deep appreciation of my body and the things that it can do, like deep sex appeal within myself, like that feminine embodiment piece. And this will be coming into your sales. How you feel about yourself, your body, your self-love, your self-appreciation, your gratitude for your body and the things that it can do will 100% be seeping into your sales. So if you're listening to this, as someone who already works out a lot, and you'll be like, I feel you, honey. Yes, maybe I'm going to get myself to some pole dancing lessons. As you should, queen. You will feel amazing after. And if you're someone that's listening to this and being like, I haven't been moving my body as much as I possibly could, and I miss that element of self-love, girl, this is, again, a form of self-care. If you want to wear clothes that make you feel amazing, if you've just moved your body before then putting on the clothes that make you feel amazing, again, that's another habit to stack that is going to set you up for success in your day, all adding to your main character energy. So these are some things that I do. Number 3, I prioritize creative hobbies. These are the things that you do just for the love of it, for the joy of it, to get lost in the moment. You're not necessarily doing it for an outcome. There's no end goal. There's no result. You're not doing it to finish. You're doing it to be in it and enjoy being in it. So whether this is dancing, music, arts, experiences, hiking, outdoorsy things, whatever that is for you, or all of those things, prioritize these things. Now, I get it. I love my business. I could work in my business all day, every day, happily. But eventually, you get to a point where your inspiration is running low, energy is running low, because you've not pulled yourself away. If you don't allow yourself time and space away from the business, you're too in it to be able to make logical, clear decisions. Some of your best ideas, creativity, and decision-making will happen when you pull yourself out of the business. And so for me, I put these moments into my calendar. So whether it's dance classes, CrossFit classes, drumming lessons, any of the creative or like hiking or adventures, I will schedule those into my calendar so that I'm telling myself that those are a non-negotiable. Those are, in the same way that I prioritize client calls, I prioritize my movement and creative things. I put them in the diary so that they are non-negotiable. And it means that people can't book calls in that time. I can't be spoken to in that time. That is my key creative time, not just to enjoy a hobby, but also so many of my creative ideas that I can bring back to the business will happen during that time. So I prioritize that time. Number 4, I stay inspired. This massively helps main character energy, is inspiration. And again, I'm speaking from experience because I remember the summer of, I'm going to say it was 2021, but it was definitely during the plateau season where I was so uninspired. And then this is why the business was plateauing, is that I was just so lifeless. I was just dull. And it's because at the time, so I wasn't in active coaching or mentoring. I'd finished one investment, which I've spoken about before, that wasn't what it was marketed as and wasn't what I hoped to get from it. So I was feeling a little bit burnt and disillusioned from that. And I wanted some time and space away from mentorship. But it also meant that I didn't have like an active route for inspiration. I was listening to podcasts and books, which can help for sure. But I do think that when you are actively investing, your attention is far more focused because you're financially invested. There's only so much you can do when you are absorbing the low-level stuff or free stuff. So if you're only binging through podcasts or books, yes, they do help, of course, but your attention span and your focus on those things, your concentration on those things, your ability to implement those things, or your desire to implement those things is going to be a lot lower because you're not properly paying attention in the same way that you would if you were investing 4 figures in those things. So it is on you to stay inspired. And I'm not saying that you need to spend 5 figures to be inspired. But what I am saying is have things that either you're actively investing in on a month to month or are things that you're looking forward to. This is a key part. You can either have things that are ongoing, so like coaching, masterminds, for example, or things that are in the calendar that give you something to look forward to. So an event, a retreat, an abroad trip where you're going to be around other business owners. These things will help your inspiration massively because it's something that you're looking forward to. You've got that hope, that desire, that anticipation, and all of that will actively energize you. So I'm always, having known what it feels like to not be inspired and the effect of that on, how hard content creation is, how hard it feels to sell because you feel like you're not attracting, that you're pushing rather than pulling. Where is the next client coming from? Or why isn't this working for me? God, the number it'll do on your mindset. And so you owe it to yourself, again, active self-care to keep yourself inspired. This is what will feed your main character energy. Alrighty, so we've got 4 so far. Number 5 is I recognize if I've gotten too comfortable and I actively work to change that. So growth never comes from comfort zone. I am someone that loves change. I'm obsessed with change. I find routine boring as hell. And if I'm stagnant for too long, that 100% change, it has an effect on my energy, my inspiration, my mindset. And so it's about finding that balance of what works well for you. Because yes, of course, you need some routine if you want to have like true focus. But at the same time, if you just do the same thing day in, day out, you can't expect it to be full of new ideas if you never do anything that's new. If your brain isn't activated in any kind of way because it's just working on muscle memory, like it doesn't even have to switch on for you to get through the day, how can you be expecting a load of new inspiration? So recognize if you've gotten too comfortable and actively change that, whether it's in a small way, whether it's in, for my personal preference, I like to change things in a massive way. Growth doesn't come from comfort zones. So I have no interest in staying inside of my comfort zone. If I recognize that either I've become stagnant or uninterested, or I have less ideas than usual, or content creation or marketing or sales feels like a little bit like meh, then I change things up. So ask yourself some of these questions. Where are you not stretching? Because remember, growth should feel uncomfortable. So if you feel super comfortable, you're not growing. You're not getting outside of your comfort zone. So ask yourself, where are you not stretching? Where have you been too engrossed in the chapter that you're in that you're not actively trying to reach a new chapter? Where have you not challenged yourself recently? Where are you playing small? And what's one thing that you could do today to change that? How could you play bigger today in this moment? So that's 5. Number 6 is I build my main character circle. This is another one that is non-negotiable for me. All of these are non-negotiable, but this is a really, really key one because I started the business not knowing anyone that was an entrepreneur, not knowing anyone that worked online, not having a circle. You hear that thing of it's not what you know, it's who you know, and your network is your net worth. And I was like, great, I don't have either of those things. But it's on you to change that. If you're lucky enough to already have people in great places, awesome. You can leverage that, get a foot in the door and, keep adding to that circle. But if you're someone like me that didn't start with anyone that's already got a foot in the door, girl, it is on you to change that. Ain't nobody gonna come and serve it to you on a silver platter. You have got to get yourself into the rooms where conversations are happening, a seat at the table where conversations are happening, whether that's physically, in person, whether that's online. It is on you to get yourself into the places that you are not. And let me tell you, the people that you don't yet know are the biggest cost to your business right now. The biggest cost to your business are the people that you don't yet know. Saying that as someone who has started to build her circle, get more known, get myself into places with people who know things about things that I don't know about. Girl, you owe it to yourself to do this. So in as many ways as you can, get yourself into online rooms, get yourself into physical rooms, get out and about, hear what people are talking about, get engrossed in conversations, stretch yourself, be the smallest person in the room, get yourself into those spaces. Because your circle, your squad, your circle of wing women, your powerhouse women that you surround yourself with aren't just a source of inspiration and, this pot of gold that you don't even know exists yet, but also these are your people. As you go through entrepreneurship, that circle of women that you surround yourself with become even more important. Because yes, things can be tough in the beginning, but as you scale up, your problems get bigger. So yes, your mindset gets sturdier, but the weight of the baggage that you're going to be bringing, or like the scale of the problems that you'll have to solve, are going to get bigger. So you need to get around people who know how to solve bigger problems. And so get yourself into these rooms, because when you do, and you're surrounded by people physically and virtually, by powerhouse women, people who've achieved incredible things, people who hit incredible milestones, and you sit around those women and they see you as this person as well, the way that it feeds your main character energy, knowing the circles that you move in, is such a sense of not just comfort and ease for your nervous system, but also your inner child being like, fuck yeah, woohoo! So build your main character circle, build your main character squad. Those will be the people who are the first to celebrate you when you win, and they'll be the first people that you turn to when your chips are down. So you owe it to yourself to build that circle and to keep building that circle. This isn't something that you tick off. This is something that you are ever working on. So that's number 6. Number 7 is, and this is maybe more to do with my main character energy, but hey, this episode's about me, so I'm just giving you tips and you can take from this as you will. Number 7 is I live for the plot. I live for the plot. A little story time. So when I was in LA and I went up to this little town called Santa Barbara, there's a little town next to it called Montecito, which is where Meghan and Harry live. And I'd taken myself out for dinner. It was going to be my last night in the US, and the next day I was going to have to drive back down to LA, and I was flying on the evening of the next day. So I'd done a bit of work in the afternoon, and I said, right, I'm going to take myself out for dinner. Just a bit of context for this. The afternoon prior to the day that I was flying, I had actually found a co-working space, and I'd had a really good afternoon of setting things up for the launch that I was in at the time. I was enrolling new clients, I'd sent a couple of emails, and I was really happy in a workflow. I know I'd done lots of adventures on this trip, but for this afternoon, I was happy not to go on an adventure and to do some things within the business that would help this launch be even smoother. And I did that at the expense of, I'd woken up and thought, shall I go wine tasting today? And I decided to do work. And I'm happy about that decision. And I'd said to myself, do you know what? I've loved this place. I will definitely be coming back. I'll go to a winery on another day. And I was happy doing my work. That evening, I said, right, this is my last evening. I'm going to take myself out for a really nice dinner, like a real memorable close to this trip that's been incredible. And I took myself out. I'd picked a restaurant just on Google Maps, went along, and it was divine. It was the best restaurant I've ever eaten at in my entire life. The food was exquisite, and I had a steak and wine that was so good that I actually don't think that I could ever eat steak from anywhere else again. I never thought that I would be that person, but when I tell you this steak was exquisite, exquisite. I've never had anything like it. Oh my God. I mean, it cost me an arm and a leg, so I'll never forget it for that reason. However, I have absolutely no regrets because it was divine. The service was divine. The wine list was divine. The steak was divine. The roquette sauce and the red wine jus were divine. Oh my God, I'm drooling thinking about it. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. The point of the story was there was a gentleman that sat down at my table after I'd finished my meal. You know how the older man will walk past a woman quite happy, sat alone in her element, and have this perplexed look on his face, like, but how could she be so happy by herself? And feel the need to be like, she looks happy, let me interrupt this piece. He politely asked, I started a conversation and he ended up sitting down at the table and it was fine. I'd already finished my food. He wasn't ruining anything. Anyway, we get chatting. He invited his other friend over and we're chatting as a three, just enjoying our wine. As he said, what are your plans tomorrow? And I said, I'm driving down to LA. I will be flying in the evening. And they're like, would you like to come to a wine tasting tomorrow? A private wine tasting. We've got a booking. It's at a vineyard. It's about an hour from here. We'd love for you to come with us if you would be open to coming with us. Now, some of you are going to be listening to that. As my internal dialogue was, it could on paper not be a great idea. You know, of course, as a woman, I'm like, to get in a car with two men that I've just met, not exactly my bravest, almost sensible idea. But there's the other side of my internal dialogue. The rebel side that's like, so it's an hour's drive in the opposite direction and I've already got 3 hours going back. And there's alcohol involved, which means I need to really, pay attention because I've got a long drive and I need to be under the limit to even get to the airport. I've also got stops that I need to do before getting to the airport. Yeah, fuck it. Sounds like a great idea. And so I woke up in the morning, was picked up at my hotel by the two gents. They were both lovely older men. Who I felt safe with. Obviously, if there was any sign internally, and I'm very intuitive, so if you're listening to this being like, Sarah, you're an absolute idiot. No, I'm very, very intuitive. And if there was any scent of this isn't a great idea, wouldn't have gone. But these were two older gents and ladies. I did do my Googling the night when I got home. I looked both of them up. You know how women are the FBI? Yes, I looked both of them up. I found the one guy on Google and LinkedIn and I read 17 of his client reviews talking about his character. So I did my due diligence before getting in the car, okay? So don't worry about me. So we're in the car in the morning and we're driving then an hour inland away from the opposite direction to the airport to a winery. And we're planning to go to 2 wineries as well. And I'm just sat in the car smirking to myself like, I live for the plot. I live for the plot. And I put something on my stories just saying if there's something about me, I live for the plot. And a little description saying I'm going in the opposite way to the airport with 2 gents I just met. And the amount of comments I got back on my stories like, Sarah! But people loved the story and I love the story. That is the point here, is that so many entrepreneurs are set on arriving at the next milestone or the destination, whatever that destination looks like, that actually they forget to enjoy the journey. Think of all the storytelling I've just given you about that trip and how memorable that moment was, just because it was sporadic and it all just happened just so, which was a lot of that LA trip, by the way. Everything just working out in my favour. Given that I'd said, didn't get a chance to go to the winery, I'll go another time. And then some random guy comes in and says, hey, want to come to an even better winery? We're going tomorrow. And that was just such that trip. That the purpose of that trip was to go to a business retreat. So I could say that the end goal of that trip, the purpose of it, the destination was a business retreat. But some of the most memorable moments of that trip were nothing to do with the retreat. They were often in the car going to cool places. I am not even joking about that. I've got so many car memories. So this is your reminder to not just go for the destination or be set on the track that you're going. Like, allow life and allow the universe to show you where you actually need to be and enjoy the journey. So many people don't do this, whereas I live for the journey. I soak up the journey. And this is a massive part of where I get my main character energy from. It's enjoying the now as well as looking forward to the future. I know I really live in the now. So I dance and sing throughout my day. I say yes to things without knowing what they're going to come into. I don't look for reasons why I shouldn't do things. I find any evidence that I should. I look for the most exciting idea, not the most logical idea. I fly by the seat of my pants, and I live a very exciting and fun life for that. I know that when I look back on my life, I will be happy with the way that I lived in the moment, not just sacrificed everything for the end goal. So, live for the plot. That was number 7. Number 8 is selling every day. How much more main character energy would you get if you made selling every day a daily habit in the way that you wake up and eat breakfast, in the way that you go to sleep every day? Selling every day should be something that you do instinctually, whether it is in a post, whether it's in an email, whether it's on your Instagram stories, whether it's in private conversations, DMs, whether it's in speaking to past clients, whether it's in speaking to new clients, whether it's going live, whether it's hosting a live event, whether it's, in person or online. Selling every day should absolutely be a habit of yours and a source of main character energy. You know that you're going to sell every day, and so you get to show up and find creative ways of selling. You do this instinctually. So you get to try, imagine like putting your clothes on in the morning. You know that you're going to get dressed every morning. That's a habit, it's a non-negotiable. But you get to try different outfits on. That's like selling. You know that you're going to sell every day, but you get to try on different ways of doing things, different messages, different angles, different ways of creating content. There's so much variation in the way that you sell, but that selling every day is a non-negotiable. That is a key part of feeding your main character energy. It comes from knowing that whatever you go on to do throughout that day, that you've done your piece, you've sold somewhere, you've either made an offer, either expressly, publicly, or directly to someone. You have sold your offers in the business, and that will feed your energy for the rest of the day, knowing that you have served your business in that day. So selling every day gives me a massive amount of main character energy. Doesn't matter whether it's something that you can pour a load of energy into and do some really creative piece or some really long email, or it's something that you've only got a couple of minutes, but you've got enough time to throw a link up on your stories or create a new freebie and have 50 people sign up to your new masterclass. Whatever time that you've got, be selling every single day. Number 9 is being great at getting excellent client results. You get so much main character energy from being really great at what you do and having that replicated in your client results. There is so much main character energy to be had from this. So if you're someone that currently isn't getting excellent results from your clients, that is 100% affecting your energy and how you're showing up to sell and attract new clients. So the way to fix this is to look at what's happening with your clients right now. How can you double the results that they're getting right now? What could you do? Is it a simple thing? Is it an overall thing? Is there something that needs to be changed in your framework? Is it your delivery? Are you either giving too much or are you giving too little? How could you get even better results from your clients? And I'm not saying you need to pour in a load more time. We're not saying handhold everyone through the process. Like, give people power. Where have you not given them the tools that they need to be able to get incredible results without needing to lean on you fully every single day? Where are you taking away their power by being too present? Oosh. But you get a massive amount of main character energy from A, delivering those incredible client results, and B, knowing that being really excellent at what you do is going to think about how you'll show up when you've just woken up to 5 client messages, both in your group, in your one-to-one, in your mastermind, in your membership, to people being like, oh my God, I've just got this win, or oh my God, this has just happened for me, or oh my God, I've just had this breakthrough. How are you then going to show up in your business to sell when you've just seen like all of these people are having incredible results because of you, because of the expertise that you have brought to the table, because of the work that you have done to enable them to have those achievements? You're going to show up like the absolute queen that you are. Like, bitches, the rest of you would be lucky to work with me. I am divine. That's the energy you're going to show up to sell with. That is main character energy XXL. So you can get a huge amount of energy, confidence, audacity from serving your clients at a high level and making sure that they are getting client results. If they are not getting results, that's on you. Have a little look inwards. What is not happening? That is meaning that they're not getting the results that you know you're capable of. So again, active self-care. How can you get your clients better results that will enable you to show up with unfuckable with confidence, because you know that anyone that works with you will touch gold. Boom. And then number 10 is changing my environment to change my state. Oosh. This is one that if you are well-traveled, you'll know this. But even if you're someone that you go on holiday and you're miraculously so much happier when you go on holiday, then you know this feeling. And even if you're someone that goes on a day trip to go co-working or goes for a trip to London or wherever just to change things up, or you go work with a friend for a day or something, or even hire an Airbnb for the day just to switch up your environment, you'll know the impact of what this can have on your mood, your energy, your inspiration, your creativity, your decision-making, your motivation, your productivity. Like everything gets this massive up level because of the new environment. Your environment is either killing your state or bringing it alive. And now that sounds really dramatic, but when you don't change up your environment and you stay in the same space day in, day out, your brain doesn't really need to activate because it already knows all of those things. You know, it recognizes everything that it's seeing. It knows distances. It knows the food in that environment, the air in that environment, what to see in that environment, the risks in that environment. It knows everything is already known because it's been a pattern that has been repeated and repeated. And so it doesn't need to activate because it already knows all of the threats and the enjoyments and everything is already known. So you're just working in muscle memory at that point. Whereas when you go to a new environment, the reason that your state changes is that we're cavewomen at the end of the day. And so when you go to a new environment, your caveman instinct has to kick into gear because all of a sudden there's all of this newness and it doesn't know where are the threats, where are the risks. You know, you go into what could kill me state. But what it means is that you're alert. You're paying attention. Your adrenal system is alive. It's activated. It's switched on. You've got to take in everything because it's a brand new time. It's the first time that you're seeing everything. And so this is why it really, really activates you, is that you're present. Because there's going to be new air, new things to look at, new distances or things to either avoid or observe or sink into or play around with, maybe new people, maybe new foods, things to explore and discover and just have all of this new excitement that is a physical reaction within your body. So changing your environment 100% changes your state, whether you're doing this for an hour, an afternoon, a whole day, a week, a month, a year. Maybe not a year. You would probably get used to it after a year. But this is a cheat code. So if you've been feeling like you haven't been very energized or inspired in the business for a little while, this is something that you could so easily do. You know, switch it up, go to a coffee shop, book to go to an event, go to a mastermind day, go meet your friends, work in person, book a retreat. Change your environment to change your state. This is 100% a cheat code for crazy levels of main character energy. The excitement that I get from changing my environment is like, whoa! You're listening to this. This is the first podcast that I'm recording since being back in the UK. Now, I expected a couple of days of feeling different, but we're on day 6. My energy is on fire. So energized, and I'm still feeling the effects of change from my sleep routine to my being awake routine, you know, my working hours. the foods that I'm eating, the air that I'm breathing, the environment that I'm in, all of these, because they're so different to what I was used to, are 100% changing my energy. And now that's giving me a load of energy, like a whole uplift during the day, but it's also doing the opposite in the evening. I'm crashing in the evening. At the time of recording this, I have been sleeping so much since getting back to the UK, and I don't think that it's jet lag. Maybe that's, me being a little bit delulu, but I don't suffer with jet lag. I think that this is my body having done so much over the past few months, going from changing my time zone wildly, completely, a lot in the last few weeks, to doing a lot of projects, taking on a lot of work, doing a lot of new things for the first time, hosting a live summit for the first time, changing platforms. Like, there's been a lot happening within the business. And so getting back to the UK and removing a lot of the more exciting things in my life, honestly, I feel like my body has gone, it's let out this massive sigh of relief. And so because there's so much that is known in this environment, the environment switch itself has been energizing because there's a load that isn't new, but it means that the bits that I can show up for, I've got 10x the energy during the day, and we appear to be sleeping 10 times as heavy and hard in the evening. But again, that's giving me more energy during the day. So this is your sign. If you haven't switched up your environment in a while, do that. Your body is maybe over-regulated. So switch things up. Get your body out of its usual comfort zone so that you can feel something new and learn, what is the best routine for me? How do I really love to work? Is this the best thing for me right now? Just because it was the best thing for me a year ago doesn't mean it's the best thing for me right now. How could I switch things up that will massively change not just my energy, but then the results that I get within the business? I hope that you enjoyed this episode. This was 10 things that I do to fuel not just my body, but fuel my mind and fuel my soul. If you can fuel each of those things on a day-to-day in those small micro decisions that you make, from the things that you choose to wear in the morning, to the way that you fuel your body through food, through sleep, through your environment, all of those will massively affect the energy that you then show up in the business with. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Let me know, message me on social media if there's something that stood out to you or that you really loved or that you're going to try and bring within the business to be able to then have more main character energy for your business. Message me at Sarah Buckland Coaching on Insta or send me a message on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this episode, share it to your stories or your social media. Remember to tag me so that I can see it. I'd love to hear which are your favourite episodes. I think that this might be a popular one, but we shall see. And I shall see you inside the next episode.